Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday. I'm Dustin. You're here with me at 7:30 in the morning. I have my coffee. How about you? Apparently, John Guggenhan got up this morning thinking he had to go to work. What a pleasant surprise. He did not have to go to work today. It is the best feeling, or so I'm told. Mm, that first sip of coffee. Isn't it delightful? He's just delightful. What a lovely bunch of coconuts that was. Don't you just love when the internet's not working up to full speed when it should be? Anyway, how are you all doing? Danny's here. Good morning, Danny. I appreciate you for being here so very much. Evelyn is here. Good morning, dear. I am so very glad to see you this morning. And we've got Brian Doyle. Just woke up. I've been up for like an hour and a half. And this is the first bit of coffee that I've had because I wait to have my coffee with you. Everything seems to be working in order and now going and streaming a little bit better now. We did have a mild interruption there in the internet, and I do apologize for that. Oh, good morning, Cindy. Good morning. So, everybody needs to tell me how was yesterday? How was yesterday? I know for those of you who did go to the Cincinnati area meetup that I was not fortunate enough to go to, how was it? I need to know. Mm. Oh, coffee is so yummy. Good morning, Jeff. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so very much. You missed me yesterday. Oh, I missed you too. Severe FOMO or whatever it is, like when you're like fear of missing out, but just missing out, just Mo. I had Mo. I missed out. I didn't get any hugs yesterday. How very rude. Carl, thank you for being here, Carl. Danny, it says it was great getting to see everyone and meeting new people. 100%. Now, I will be at the Columbus meetup next month, March the 16th. Dustin, will be there. I would say with bells on, but I don't own any bells, so I won't be there with bells. But I'll be there with my beard and probably rolling with the coffee in the car. I was missed. You met new people? Do tell. Give me the scoop. Give me the scoop. Thank you so much, John. I hope that people do get, something out of that live. I think there's a lot of people out there who are struggling with addiction issues or they're struggling with, you know, things in their life that, that not necessarily everybody wants to hear about or they're comfortable talking about. And I think it's so very important to kind of broach those subjects, like things that I talk about here, things I talk about myself that, a lot of people wouldn't talk about. I mean, realistically, the idea of, food addiction, how heavy I got, all the difficulties that I had being so heavy, I think those things are so monumentally huge that they need to be talked about because so many people out there may be experiencing those exact same thing and think they're alone. And I just want everybody to know that you're not alone. There is almost definitely somebody out there going through basically identical things that you've gone through, if not the exact same things, very similar things. There's a lot of people in this world. Evelyn says, I missed the Columbus one. It's the same weekend as my daughter's musical. I understand. I totally understand, though. I will miss you greatly. But again, Shannon and I will be working on hopefully a Thursday to come up and hang out with all of you wonderful people up on the easy peasy keto side. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that taken care of. Um, I look forward to that as well. Danny says he ran into a guy at a meetup that he worked with a company years and years ago. So that's good. Jen Delaney. I have missed you so much, dear. Thank you for being here. I missed you so very much. Jen is one of my favorite people on the planet. And she's coming up not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, I do believe. Let me check that because I have a terrible memory sometimes, especially when it comes to dates. I used to be really good. I can tell you dates in the past, but stuff coming up. Let me see. Yes, so Jen and Brian are scheduled to sit down with me March the 9th. I'm super excited about that. Super duper excited. Jen, you need to send me a picture of you and Brian together, please. Because I have you and a sloth right now. And Brian is no sloth. He's cuter than a sloth. So, I said it. I said it out loud. Can't take it back. Coach Kevin, one of Dr. Barry's moderators, was there. That's pretty awesome. People waking up thinking it's Monday. How rude. How rude. She gets to have Korean barbecue for lunch with friends. I went to a place yesterday called Yummy Bowl. It's a chain of places, like chain of Mongolian restaurants, like Mongolian grill style restaurants that we have here now. And while not the cleanest, it's super delicious. So this is kind of like my cheat day, if you will. I didn't get rice or anything like that, but I got imitation crab in my food. And I know it's got starches in it, but it's so delicious. I used to love imitation crab when I was in the before times. But I got imitation crab, onions, I had shrimp, beef, chicken. Oh, it was so delicious. So delicious. An obscene amount of crushed red pepper. Delicious. Yes. Let's see. Good morning, Christy. Thank you for being here, dear. We met Coach Kevin, Nate this week, and Nate this week. Oh, I don't know if I know Nate this week. What? No way. Oh, rude. Brian is a sloth. Oh, she did not get to meet Nate. Carnivore today was also there. I'm going to eat them out of short ribs and pork belly today. I went to Trader Joe's yesterday because I went out to lunch with a friend of mine who lives on the side of town where Trader Joe's is, and I got my tea tree oil shampoo that I like to use on my scalp when after I've shaved my head, and I use it in my beard to kind of get into here to get it, you know, because if anyone who has facial hair knows that things up here can get dry and itchy and such, if it's not taken care of. And I use a tea tree oil shampoo that I like a lot, and they also had a pork belly, but it was like $7 for 12 ounces. And I was like, you know what? That's a lot of money for a little bit of pork belly. Did look good though. It was in a box. The picture on the box looked good. So whatever was on the inside may not have looked as good. But I digress. Jen says she's going to eat them, like I said, out of pork belly and short ribs. She says, was Darth Carnivore there yesterday? Guy wearing the Body by Bacon shirt. I think Charlie was supposed to be there yesterday. So if you met a gentleman named Charlie, yes, that was Darth Carnivore. He mentioned that he was going yesterday in the live that I did yesterday. Yesterday in the live that I did yesterday. Yesterday. That's your answer. He was there in the flesh. Mm. Just take a moment of silence for coffee. Mm. Mm. So is Autumn having a live today? I know she hadn't had a live in like Wednesday or like Sunday last week and Wednesday this week. I need to see if she's having a live today. Um, because I would like to do like a raid over to them, but most people these days, or most people in our community, don't have that feature turned on their channels. Um, but yeah, you shouldn't have had to make the pot. That's already made. You buy that from the store, and then you make the coffee inside the pot. But I don't know. That's the where an espresso machine comes in handy. I don't have to do it. I just put the little pods in there, and Amazon ships them to us every 3 weeks, and I just keep filling up the drawer, so they're always full of pods. So I don't want to run out because we start getting down to like 20 pods, and I start getting a little antsy. I'm like, oh, we can't run out of coffee. Mm, delicious. I got this. Actually, this one actually came from the Bucky's near Cindy's house because my kids went on a little trip for a weekend, and on their way back from their little weekend trip, they stopped at that Bucky's and they brought me the mug. We also got a dark, like a hot pink one from there, but it doesn't have Bucky's logo on it. They have the red one that's Bucky logo, and they have a whole bunch of other ones by the same company, but they didn't have the logo on them. So they're like $12. They're like just a little bit more than the Walmart ones. The Walmart ones are $10, same size. I like the lids. They're good. We've got about 12 of these steel cups that we use in the house. 12 to 15 of them. That's the only thing we really drink out of because, conservation and all that stuff, and plastics and microplastics and all the things there are to worry about in the world today. Bean water. Bean. So good. It is good, right? Bean water? Who'd have thought? I'll tell you what though, yesterday when I was at the Mongolian grill, they did have they you get to the table and there's a menu and it's got all the sushi on it. And I'm a sushi person. I love sushi. And I know that, sushi's not keto because of the rice and a lot of the sauces and stuff that they put on there and the imitation crab that goes in there and all that stuff. Fully aware. But they're charging like $15 a roll. 15. That's one, two, three, 15. $15. And Shannon and I, what we do, and we go to sushi like twice a year. Well, depending on if the boys or the girl wants to go to sushi for their birthday, we'll go get sushi, but we pay $25 a person. So that's like, and we get like maybe 5 to 6 rolls a piece. Because if we're gonna go, we're going hard in the paint. We're going hard in the paint. Because if I'm gonna get sushi, I'm eating all of it. I'm gonna go home miserable, right? I don't recommend that on a normal basis, but sushi, I'll allow it. Brenda, thank you for being here, dear. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, yeah. But $15 a roll, I would go broke eating sushi at that cost. And I'd be fatter, you know. So the title of today's live, and I know that I just put a title up there, they're all loosey goosey, basically just so it doesn't say the same thing every week. What have I earned? And I was listening to a podcast this week of the Joe Rogan flavor, and he had he and I spoke about this yesterday for a little bit. But for those who didn't hear that, it's got a gentleman on there. His name is Sheldon, and another guy named Josh. And Sheldon was incarcerated when he was young in like 1998, 1990s, 1998. He was incarcerated, and they preface that he is guilty of what he did. So that's not the case, and that's not like the argument. But the reason why he was on Joe Rogan and he and Josh were on there is because of the sentence he got for the crime he committed, nobody really got hurt. And I mean, the way he explains it, it is more in detail, and it is probably a really bad day for somebody. But he ended up getting 50 years in prison. But he did have a rap sheet that was a pretty lengthy rap sheet in New York. But anyway, just kind of, but just going to give a brief context of this gentleman. He spent 25 years in prison, but after getting out, he got his associates, he got his bachelor's, and then he's got his master's degree, all the while incarcerated. So he went and got his GED, and then he came out with a master's degree, and he's trying to make a difference. And I mean, that's what we're all just trying to do here, right? We're all just trying to make a difference. But one thing that he said is a lot of people like me, you, yes, you, people watching out here, may not be certified in what you're going through. But just like, just like the live that we're talking about here, you may not be certified, but what are you? You're qualified to talk about the things that you've gone through. You may not have a piece of paper behind you, but you have that street cred. You have that qualification that you've been there, you've been through it, and you have been owning every bit of it all along the way. And I think that's what is so very important. I tried to communicate that yesterday, but some of those words escape me. And because sometimes I kind of wonder, why do people listen to me? Why do people show up and want to listen to me talk for 2 hours? And I know there's a good amount of it is just hanging out, and we're talking to each other, and we've made a decent community, and it's a growing community. It's probably the best community. And listening to that gentleman talk about, I'm not certified, but I'm qualified. I've been there. He's talking about trying to help other persons that are incarcerated get their act together and get things going so they can get out of prison. And when they do, they have a way to hit the ground running. And he's coming with them to help them. And they're looking at him as a person that they can trust because he may have the certifications behind him because he's got his bachelor's, he's got his master's, he's got all these things, but he did it in the same fashion that they're doing it. He is qualified. He has that street cred. So that's one thing that I've been thinking about the last like 4 days because, well, since Friday, I started listening to that episode on Friday, so it's been 3 days. But it's really, really struck a chord with me because I think a lot of us get caught up and we want to follow like these coaches and we want to follow, and I'm not nothing against health coaches, nothing against people who are creating meal plans because we can all do these things. We can all create meal plans. We can all do these things. And I think we get caught up in that. And I kind of think, well, I'm not one of those people. I don't have a certification. I didn't take any classes. I don't have any right to be up here talking to you about this stuff. But then I hear things like that. And I talked with Keith yesterday, and we're talking about, but I am qualified because I started as a person with so many struggles, and I've overcome those struggles, and I've been able to defeat a lot of those struggles. And some of the struggles I still battle with on a daily basis today. But the fact that day to day, most often those battles don't beat me, I beat them, means I'm qualified to be here to talk to you today. So I have to keep reminding myself of little things like that as a content creator, as a person who gets on here 4 times a week and talks to a camera and to a screen, into people text on a screen. I have to remind myself, why I'm doing this. Not necessarily the why. The why is apparent. It's more should I do it, I guess. But anyway, you know, um, Carl says, get my mouse back over here. Carl says, plus, you're relatable and a good conversationalist, making interviews flow nicely. I work on that. I struggle with that in some cases. I think some of my interviews could be much better. And I know that will come with practice, that'll come with time. For me, knowing when to step in, not necessarily interrupt people, because I do want to give people the opportunity to say everything they want to say. But when I hear something that I want to hear them elaborate on, being able to kind of get in and get them to elaborate and that kind of stuff, or being able to kind of coax the best out of the person, because some people come on and they may not be the most comfortable, but trying to get people to open up, be comfortable, relaxed, and just let it out. Because some people are so nervous about it, and that's why some people won't come on, because they are so nervous about it. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. I stress about it a lot. I stress about it. I think about it. I worry about it. Oh, some people that I talk to make me nervous. Some people I get, like try not to have like fanboys kind of like things. I mean, and I've talked to some people that I've really looked forward to talking to for a while. So, and I've got a lot of people that I want to talk to. And some people I haven't even reached out to because I am so nervous about it. Like, why would they want to talk to me? Would they think I'm dumb? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that flow around in your head when you're doing things like this. The imposter syndrome is very strong. And I know that even in our community, that kind of seeps into people. People come and go in the community. They come in the community, they're living the lifestyle, and then they may find it kind of come off track, fall off the wagon a little bit, and then they feel like, well, I can't interact with the community because I'm not doing what I need to be doing and I can't be here. No, that's when you need us the most. Like I was talking about, and I'm not going to name names or anything like that because they may not want that. But there's been people in our community that have come in and they're doing amazing things, and then they realize, maybe what they're doing isn't sustainable for them, and they try to go after something that is sustainable, and then they feel like they need to back out of the community because they're not doing keto exactly, or they've switched to Weight Watchers or something because they have something that's maybe more tangible to them, and you can't judge that. I know that maybe Weight Watchers wouldn't be something that I would recommend to people, but some people will look at things and see the structure that something like Weight Watchers brings, and they feel that they're going to be more sustainable with that because it gives them everything they need to where they just don't have to think about it. And when we're talking about our community, I try to break down everything that you need to do here as simple as possible, but I'm not necessarily spoon feeding it to people. And I know sometimes people just really need that. It's not a bad thing. It's just how I have learned to understand myself, understand what I need out of myself, understand what I need to do for me to be successful, what things that I have to overlook, things that I have to double down on, all those things, you know. Chrissy says, I got so nervous at the thought of interviewing Zoe Holcomb. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, there's just people that you look up to, or you're worried that your personalities may not work out, and or just sometimes I get nervous that people won't show up. I'll have them and we'll make out a date out, and I will send them the thumbnail, and I will send them the link to be here, and then I'm sitting here waiting and I'm like, are they going to show up? And then I've had two times where they didn't show up, and that's rough. That's hard. That's hard on as me as a person, because I'm left feeling, why did they just not think I was worth their time? And One, I mean, they just overslept and didn't set their alarm or whatever, and then, and then the other person just forgot all about me. Just forgot they had a life. And that can wound you a little bit. It wounded me a little. It's like, well, was I not important to write it down or whatever? And I understand that life gets in the way because I forget stuff. But I use my calendar and my phone. Like like one day, there was something going on, and it got put into the calendar. But the way that I look at so when I put something in the calendar, I put it on the date, and then I put the start time and the end time in, like, at least typically the start time. Like, it's going to start at this time, and then it's going to start reminding me a half hour before or 10 minutes before, or whatever the case is. And something got put in the calendar, and it was our girls' Valentine's Day thing last week or the week before, whenever Valentine's Day was. It was the Tuesday before Valentine's Day. And I looked at it and it said 7 p.m. And I was like, well, that seems awful late. But come to find out, it was at 5 or 5:30. So we were like we were almost an hour late to this thing. She still had time to do some of the stuff that she was going to do, and it was fine. But it was just how it got put into the calendar. So I'm very weird about putting stuff in the calendar, make sure that, because I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I need to do, because it's easy to forget stuff. If it's not in the calendar, everything has to go in the calendar. So last year for Keto Palooza, I had forgot to put, I think I had forgot to put Keto Palooza in the calendar. And Chandra had picked up work that Friday, and I was supposed to be at Keto Palooza on Friday. And that means, here I am with the girl watching her until 4 o'clock, when Keto Palooza starts at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So things had to be moved around. Chandra switched her workday and it was able to be fixed. But that's just one of those things, like, if it has to be in the calendar, and we have a joint calendar between Chandra and I. So anything I put in the calendar shows up on her phone. Anything she puts in the calendar shows up on my phone. So her work schedule, anything that has to happen, what time we have to have the girl to school, anything we need to do, like anything, like if they're coming out to look at the furnace or checkups on the car or oil changes, anything and everything that has to, like dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, anything and everything goes in the calendar. Has to. So, Charlie, good morning, sir. Thank you for being here. I know it's like you're late. My daughter wanted to mix some sprinting in with dog walk, just got back. You know what? Family time is the most important time. 100%. And Sydney says she gets that almost every Friday. Yeah. It's fun, like, when I have people on, I love doing it, and it's fun. As soon as it starts, as soon as the countdown starts, I'm good. We start talking, and then we have a good conversation, and sometimes you get in and it feels like you're, like, really, like, pulling and pulling and pulling, trying to get them to talk, and sometimes you just ask one question and it's like an hour and a half is gone, and it's done, and you're like, "Wait, where did the time go?" Jen says, "She missed you, Ken, yesterday. I hope gardening went well, or garden meeting went well." It's like, I plan to make keto chow drop biscuits and sausage gravy this morning. Thinking your hash brown truffles would be amazing. How many people have tried those? Are they as good as we thought they were? I mean, it's easy for us to come up with something and then, like, put it into practice and then put a video out and say, "Oh, these are so good." And then I have to wait for people to try them and be like, you were wrong. These are gross, or these are the greatest thing, or whatever, right? These do taste like potato. That's the kind of thing. Like, um, kind of nervous for, like, if Steve ever tries them or whatever, because I mean that's his packet. But yeah. So Charlie's talking about his picanha last night. Met some folks at the meetup yesterday, but the buffet there didn't refill on brisket, so I finished leftover picanha to compensate. So it was like a buffet style, and they didn't bring out more brisket. Did they have sausage at least? Come on now. Morning, Arden. Thank you for being here. Getting the sleep out of my eyes. Hoping you're putting some coffee in there, getting yourself nice and awake. Mm. So Stacy and I went to the meetup together, and we took a new friend with us, and it was our friend Emily's first meetup. I love it. My first meetup was the one in 2020 2022, I think like December 2022 with Jackie, and that's when I met Ready Set Keto and Don Does Keto, and I met Jennifer Lucas and Maitreya. Had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Opened up a whole lot of new things for me. That meetup was a big life-changing event for me. I had been doing YouTube for 2 years, but hadn't really found a community. Yeah, people would comment on my videos and such here and there, but it wasn't any kind of community. So I was very thankful that I was able to meet Jackie, and she lives in my and like 20 minutes from me, 40 minutes from me, whatever. She lives in the middle of nowhere in the boonies. But I mean, I kind of live in the boonies, but not really. But they didn't refill anything. What? No. It's supposed to be a buffet. So was it like pay for whatever they put out and that was it then? Ugh, that's just not cool, man. I mean, I guess if it's not normally a buffet style place and you're just paying for so much per person. See, that's the downside with our community. I mean, there's very few downsides to our community, but one of them is if you're going to put out baskets of bacon, understand that we're going to eat baskets of bacon. And if you're going to offer bacon and you don't set any kind of limit up front, like only 2 pieces, please. Like it was funny because Jen and I and Brian and went to Low Carb for Better Health last summer, and and they opened up the 2 lanes for the buffet style lunch that we had paid for, and there were eggs and there were like onions and bacon and all these things, and people were filling their plate with bacon, like literally a plate full of eggs and bacon, and then there was like 4 or 5 people made it to the line and there was nothing more, and it was like 25, 35 minutes waiting on bacon and stuff. So like, but people, as soon as they come out, people start filling their plates again, and then like nobody in line's getting any bacon. So it's like if you're going to host us, we are kind of like the locusts for bacon, eggs, meat. You have to be prepared. And it's like what Autumn was talking about because at Keto Palooza last year, she had sat down with all of the organizers and sat down with all of the caterers and all that stuff and said, "This is what we need. This is what we're expecting. Please do it." And like the guy was like, "Nah, you won't need that," and didn't make it. He was like, "There's no way they're going to go through that much bacon." And then we're standing around waiting for bacon, and they're like hustling trying to get bacon. It's like you didn't listen to me. I told you we would go through that much bacon. You know. So it was a set amount buffet. Okay. I was secretly hoping it would mostly be vegetarian type of keto crowd, so may inhale the meats by myself. But it, you can't. You could, Charlie. Charlie, come on now. You know better than that. Mm-mm. It's true. Like I need to make a shirt that's like bacon locusts. I want to see if I can do it with AI and see what it comes out. Just come in and swarm. You know what the funny thing is? You know what locusts are? Grasshoppers. The beef brisket went fast. They did not refill. There was a shredded chicken, green beans, coleslaw left over. They also had shredded pork. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like if you're going to I think, okay, so here's the deal. The average person or the average restaurant looks at like a serving of anything as like 2 to 3 ounces of meat. That's why when you go to like steakhouses, what are their like their sirloin steaks are what, 4, 6 ounces? Maybe an 8 ounce sirloin. What is that? That's not even an appetizer. And like they'll have like a gigantic 18 ounce bone in ribeye. What is that? That's not a meal. Come on. Like I need a 36 ounce, I need a 36 ounce T-bone or what, you know what I mean? Like a legitimate piece of meat. Come on. That's the thing is like our community, like that's the downside of our community is when we go to eat, we eat. But we're only gonna eat like 4 things. We're gonna eat bacon, beef, pork, chicken, maybe some eggs if there's eggs or whatever, right? So like your coleslaw will still be there, your green beans will still be there, but you can't anticipate 30 people being somewhere and being like, well, we're gonna need 4 pounds of meat. No, not even close. Descend upon the bacon and snarf it down. Snarf, snarf. Um, yes. I mean, that's the thing, is like if you're gonna host us, be prepared. For the reckoning is upon you. I could eat bacon. So bacon and me, we're friends, but like I made like a pound of bacon. Yeah, I pulled out a couple pounds of bacon out of the freezer, and I made a pound of bacon, and it was super, super crispy, like borderline burnt. And we ate that like so fast. Like I think we just polished it off. It was like a snack. Like a pound of bacon is a snack, and people are like, I don't like bacon. The package isn't resealable. Like it's not resealable for a reason. It's a single serving package. But yeah, like people are like, I only have 2 strips of bacon for lunch and an egg. No, not me. I mean, I'll make a snack of eggs and it's like 6 eggs. You know, I brought my own egg life wraps and really good Amish butter to round out my meal. She let us know ahead of time that they figured half a pound of meat per each person. That's 8 ounces of meat. 8. Half a pound is 8 ounces. Like a quarter pound, like a double quarter pounder seems this huge thing. But then when you cook it, it ain't much. It cooks all the water out. So you're getting like nowhere near, a half a pound. You're maybe getting a third of pound, like a third pound burger. That was funny because I guess there was, I forget which restaurant it was, but there was, I think might have been Wendy's or something, or I forget which restaurant it was, but they had come out with the third pound burger to compete with McDonald's quarter pound burger. But people snubbed their nose at the third pound burger because they thought a quarter pound was bigger. Quarter pound is, they would think that a quarter pound was bigger than a third pound. But I mean, realistically, it's a matter of just a couple, like, man, not even an ounce, what, right? Whatever, But um shredded pork went next. I would spoon the leftover brisket juice on top of it to rehydrate. Also, it was also a great crowd to ask out loud, anyone have Redmonds? That's the thing. Like our communities also probably got salt in their pocket. You know? Yeah, like, you're in the keto community when people bring their own salt to a restaurant. When you're not filling yourself up on starches, there's plenty of room for real food, bacon, steak. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, it's hilarious to see like when I was like, that's like when we don't really go to steakhouses because like you're paying so much for like a steak that we could get for a third of the price if we just go to Costco. And steak isn't hard to cook. I like to go out to restaurants and eat things that I don't want to cook. I don't want to I don't want to smoke a brisket. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do that. I want to go out and eat, like, I don't like to cook chicken wings. I'll go get chicken wings from B Dubs. That's a fair that's a fair price to pay for chicken wings because I don't want to cut them. And I mean, I know you can get them at Costco or whatever, but then like I just go out and eat them. Or like because if I'm gonna make chicken at home, I'm gonna cook fried chicken thighs. I'd rather have those than chicken wings. Now, if BW3s would come out with fried chicken thighs with the skin and bone and everything, basically just make them like wings, just have fried chicken thighs, bruh. Like my middle son, bruh. That would be killer. Killer. Did you hear me? Killer. BW3s, I know you're not watching this, but start offering chicken thighs. Bone in, skin on, deep fried in beef tallow, chicken thighs. Please. Because wings don't have enough meat. You won't be able to keep them, at least from me. I'll come in and eat like 6 of them. Jen says, Brian and I were at Jungle Gyms and I wanted to get bacon, a bacon store tray thing. Brian looked at me and said, when do we ever make less than a pack of bacon? He's not wrong. Like I bought trays, like baking trays that were big enough that I could fit a whole pack of bacon on. Now, the weird thing is that depending on how thinly cut the bacon is, it'll just fit. And sometimes if it's thicker cut, then I've got room left over. If I had my way, I don't even know. Like I usually make 2 pounds of bacon at a time because I got 2 of those trays. I need to measure them and put them up on my my Amazon list. So I do have Amazon lists and stuff like that. So if anybody's ever interested, I need to put that in my link tree. If anybody's ever interested in things that I recommend for Amazon or anything like that, and if any of you guys aren't Amazon affiliates, any of you who buy stuff from Amazon all the time, I know all of you are addicted to Amazon. Like us. Use our link. You don't have to buy whatever the link is. Just click on one of our Amazon links and buy whatever you're going to buy, and we'll get a couple of pennies. That would be awesome. That would help us out immensely because, like, I've made like $15 on Amazon in 3 years. It's kind of silly. So, I mean, of all the people that watch this, if you are going to order stuff from Amazon, just try to if maybe every once in a while think about using our link. Like I said, you can go in and click a link for like a waffle maker and then search for whatever you're going to buy and buy it through that link. And then anything you buy from Amazon through that for like the next 48 hours, I get a few pennies back. Doesn't change anything for you guys, but it could add up for us. Like I think, that'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, a packed thing to hold bacon, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe a thing to make opening the bacon easier. Just like a little thing, you slip the bacon in and go, and then it just pops it open instead of using scissors and cutting all the way around. Then I wrap it underneath and I just put it on the tray. I'm going to be making bacon after this. After Autumn's Live, I'm going to make me some bacon. I need bacon. And I bake it in the oven. Adam, Carnivore Today, got me and a lady named Susan interested in getting a blowtorch to sear steaks. I have that's one thing that I was thinking about too. And I'm not worried about me. I'm worried when Shanda probably wouldn't bother, but I'd worry she'd burn the house down. But I look at that. So I have a sous vide, and I need to pull that out one of these days because I want to make a sous vide egg video because you can make boiled eggs in a sous vide, and instead of like you can like cook them to a certain temperature to where like the eggs never firm, like the egg yolks never firm up, but they get to be custardy. So, yeah. I need to do that because that sounds delicious. Concealed carry Redmonds. I need to get like call my holster guy and see if he can make me a holster for it. The little ones, the little tiny ones. BYOB, bring your own butter. See, I'm not so worried about the butter aspect of it. I will eat restaurant butter, I guess. But the salt, I've brought my own salt before. What temp do I bake my bacon at? 350 typically for 30 minutes. It's just pretty like if I put 2 trays in and it's like 35 minutes, like if you put 2 trays in, then I just keep and if they're not all the way because I like it. crispy. I like crispy bacon. Like if you would just like sneeze, it would be burnt. So 350, and I just let them cook for a while. And then I got two grease traps that I keep on the stove. I'm actually so whenever we do our meetup, I have a grease trap that's in plastic. It's like a rose gold color I've got for it's kind of a giveaway. We're not really planning to do a lot of giveaways or anything like that at our meetup, but I've got some stuff to give away that I've had that I have picked up to do for giveaways at our meetup. But I've got one of those. It's got like the fine mesh strainer at the top. You can pop out, and then you can use your grease and all that stuff. Then it probably holds 32 ounces, maybe more, 40 ounces of bacon grease. So, John says his loaf turned out good, not choky at all. Okay, so that was weird. So I was at Walmart the other day and I was like, you know what? I bought myself some like fancy like yellowfin tuna, 2 cans of yellowfin tuna. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make some scrambled eggs out of them. So I just threw the I drained it and I put it in with some butter and then I tossed my eggs and scrambled my eggs up. That was like choking, like my eggs were perfect, but like the tuna was like choking me out. I've gotten accustomed to eating sardines. So I get the boneless, skinless sardines that are in olive oil with sea salt. You can get them from Costco, like a 6 pack for like $10, and they're well worth it. I know people, I don't like sardines. No, if you ever like tuna, sardines are like the better tuna. Like it's a mild flavor. It's just and eggs. Sardine and eggs is amazing. If you try it and don't like it, you can be mad at me if you want. But I used to love putting tuna in my macaroni and cheese. I would get I would get like the cheap like or the shells, like the Kraft mac and cheese box, but the shells, like the 3 cheese shells. And I would make that. I'd make 2 boxes of that because I mean, why not, fatty? And um, I would put in like a couple cans of tuna. I get the big cans and I would mix it up. Oh, that's like basically like cheating, like a cheat code for tuna noodle helper, right? And we didn't have like peas or whatever in it, which is okay because peas are dumb. But I digress. So I would do that. So like having the tuna in my eggs, I used to love it. Then I found sardines, and then tuna's like, but what about me? And I'm like, no, tunas are sardines are better. So I might make me some bacon and some tuna or some sardine eggs today. And I do have some broccoli to eat because I made a whole bunch of broccoli the other night because we're doing this like whole no spend thing, even though I had to spend some money yesterday. But I have to go probably get some milk today because I mean, there's certain things we have to buy, staples we have to buy because the girl likes milk, and I'll have to eat some broccoli tonight, which I mean, it's got onions in it and it's like loaded with butter, like a whole stick of butter in the pan. It was delicious. Broccoli can be some really good stuff if you don't eat it all the time. That's at least for me. Anyway, I can't wait for a sous vide egg video. I've tried eggs many ways, but not that one. So basically, it's just like boiling them, but slow. You like basically cooking them for a couple hours. Basically, just put them in there and forget about them for a couple hours because I mean it just sits in the corner of the cabinet. But I'll make a quick video on it. It'll probably be a very, very, very short video because I mean it'll be a long video process, but you know. So Charlie says he does 425 for 20 minutes, but I put it in immediately, not waiting it to preheat. Yeah, I typically put it in before it preheats, and then I just do 30 minutes at 350. I like that slower cook, and then that way I think I have more control that way. I mean, but also depends on your oven. So I think if I put mine at 425, my oven will probably just incinerate everything. Time for some bacon, eggs over easy, and some buttered bread for dipping. Oh yeah, dippy eggs over easy. That's one thing I love about like 6 minute eggs or like when you do sous vide eggs. You get like it's basically like a hard boiled egg, but with the runny yolk, so you're not choking to death. It's like an egg with its own sauce. And if you sous vide it and it becomes custardy, it's still a little bit runny, but it's not messy. That's the thing. And it's like it's so hard to get it just right when you're boiling it I've got one of those like little 7 egg cookers. It's by the brand Nostalgia. It holds 7 eggs, where like the Dash one only holds 6. So 7 is better than 6 eggs. But I cook that, and like, and you control the style of egg, like how done the egg is by how much water you put in. And yeah. Now they come with a little tool to poke a hole in them, but I don't do that. I don't do that. I do put my eggs in cold, and then I cook them with, Shander likes hers all the way done with like the rock solid middle, and I don't like that. I like mine with some texture to it. I don't like mine. I don't like the desert in the middle of my eggs. So, broccoli in the air fryer is awesome. I love some like fire roasted broccoli, fire roasted Brussels sprouts. That people are like, I don't like Brussels sprouts. That's okay. You're allowed to not like whatever you don't like. I get it. But really, like, how can you not like fire roasted like Brussels sprouts? There's a restaurant. I don't know if it's still around. I mean, I don't know if it made it through the pandemic or whatever. But there's a restaurant, like one of the appetizers was roasted Brussels sprouts, and it came with like a dipping, like a horseradishy dipping sauce. Bruh, so good, right? And I haven't been there in a while because I mean, going out to eat's kind of a rough thing to do, but you know, I never ate broccoli. I never ate broccoli pre-keto. I tried it when I was a kid. My mom wasn't really big on forcing us to eat vegetables. I mean, we ate a lot of like canned carrots when I was a kid, but she didn't make us eat corn or anything like that. She wasn't like trying to force, because my mom or I would have boiled all the vegetables anyway, and it would have been good. So I'm kind of glad. I mean, that I was raised that way, but but then when we went keto, then like the first time I ever tried a Brussels sprout, my stepdaughter made them, and I think she boiled them, and I was like, man, these aren't good. Then I saw something that was like, you got to cut them in half and roast them, and I was like, bruh. So I did, and that's where we are. Thanks for bringing Keith on yesterday. I enjoyed his story insights. I thought it was interesting. In recovering alcoholic thinks carbs are harder to quit than alcohol. Definitely puts in perspective. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think the reason why carbohydrates and sugar are harder to quit than cigarettes, even because I quit smoking 13, almost 14 years ago. And that was so much easier because you don't have to smoke to live. Just like with alcohol, you don't have to drink to live. But when it comes to carbohydrates and food, you have to eat to live. So it's just a matter of which foods are you going to choose to put in your body. And we've been so heavily conditioned that carbohydrates, vegetables, and grains and breads are all what we're supposed to be eating, that it's very difficult. So you're not only overcoming the physical aspect of like the carb withdrawal, you're also overcoming that mental challenge that I'm eating what's considered unhealthy for me. That's difficult. That's a lot to put on somebody, because you have to remember, if you've been told your whole life that this is healthy, this is unhealthy, and then you swap them and you start doing whatever it is, it's difficult. Like, one of the most difficult things for me beginning in keto was having a plate that wasn't full or only had two things on it. Or like if I was having burger and some bacon, that's all I had on my plate. Where's the two or three sides you would make? You'd have a vegetable, a starch, like you'd have like how often pre-keto days did you have like a meat, chicken, then some mashed potatoes, some green beans, and macaroni and cheese, and then maybe put some gravy on it? You had a nice full plate. Now you're just like, okay, instead of having all that, I'm gonna eat like 6 chicken thighs and call it a day. That's a mental struggle. That's mental gymnastics we aren't prepared for. So yeah, I stopped poking holes in my eggs when I used my egg maker like 2 weeks after I bought it, and never noticed the difference. Yeah, my problem is I would try to poke a hole in the egg and would just crack the whole egg open. I'd have to start over. So I don't understand like why they were doing that. John's got church online later today. He's going to stay in for the whole live. So you get to stay for the whole one? Awesome. I don't know how long we'll go. We'll probably butt right up against Autumn's live. I'm looking now to see if there is one. There is. So I will make sure to end this just in time for everybody to go over and say hello to Autumn. And I'm looking forward to hearing an update maybe on ticket sales for Keto Palooza, because we haven't talked about Keto Palooza at all today. I didn't talk about it yesterday on our live with Keith. We didn't really have time. But today we'll talk about Keto Palooza. I imagine that all of you that are in the chat today have your tickets. You're planning to go. Are you? I've got hugs, high fives, and fist bumps ready for every single one of you. You. Where's my camera? There it is. You. So Brian says, quit smoking, drinking, and carbs all at the same time 2 years ago. Just have a heart attack. Great motivation. 1000%. But that's also a very huge taxing thing on the body right away. Even with pregnant mothers, they tell you not to like quit smoking cold turkey. Like if you're a heavy smoker and you get pregnant, they tell you not to just quit smoking cold turkey, which sounds so crazy, but the stress on the body can impact the baby. So if you figure you had a heart attack, then you're quit smoking, drinking, and eating carbs and sugar all at the same time, the stress your body was under was probably so huge. Now, the results after are amazing, yes, but that's a huge shock to the system, right? Yay! I would not miss Keto Palooza. Just pray hubby's health holds out. We got it. Keto Palooza 24. Let's go. I was talking with Chandra this morning before she went to work, and I was thinking about trying to see if I could add a little bit of a little intro thing in my video, like with a countdown where it like counts down to 1, and then it's like then it goes into like little theme music that I have for my logo and all that stuff. And I was like, if anybody here is familiar with The Dark Knight and the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, there's like a thing where it's like, here we go. I wanted to add that in the like after the like countdown ends, it goes into that, and then it goes into, it's like that's awful long. Now, one thing I have a questions for you. How many of you get ads before the video starts, like before the live starts? Because I do have monetization on these lives. But I'm just curious because I know that's why like a lot of we do intros instead of just a cold start, because that way it sometimes lets those ads kind of run through so you're not missing anything and you can stay up to date. You can be real time. So yeah, I'm just curious about that. Feeling good about my first KPO because I know several people there beforehand. That's a very important thing. It's like I couldn't imagine being somebody who just shows up to KPL not really knowing anybody. That's what I don't know, even Evelyn, if you knew anybody before going to KPL. I know that you were familiar with who people are to a degree. You had watched, obviously, channels and stuff on YouTube enough to know that there was a KPO coming up, at least to some degree. But Evelyn, did you know anybody going in? Did you had interacted with anybody going into KPL outside of like Ken Berry or Autumn? Maybe I was just curious about that because I went to KPL expecting to know a lot of people and did. I had not met everybody I met a lot of people, but I knew I was going to meet them. Like I had never met Chris and Miriam. I had never met Joe and Rachel. I had met Autumn and Richard earlier in the summer at Low Carb for Better Health. They were there, and I got a chance to meet them for just a very brief time. But yeah, you have commercials. Now, does it stop like in the middle and show commercials? Because I don't know how much control I have over commercials in a live stream. I don't know. I don't know if I have any control over it. I never see commercials because I have YouTube Premium and I've had it for so long that I don't know. I got YouTube Premium not because I wanted YouTube Premium, but I used to have Google Play Music, and I had and paying for Google Play Music. I got YouTube Premium for free. It was kind of a perk to get YouTube or to get Google Play Music, and then Google Play Music shut down, and with um, YouTube Premium, you get YouTube Music, but we use Spotify. So I'm thinking about Spotify's become more so my go-to for podcasting, and I may just switch over to YouTube Music for music and see how that works out. Two separate apps, so switching back and forth between podcasts and music and Spotify is kind of a pain. But yeah, I knew this is awesome, Charlie. Glad you're going. First time Deb and I went 2022. We knew of people, but knew no one. Um, Evelyn, I did not know anyone. Found out about KPL through Maria Emmerich. I would have known Cassie from Carnivore Quest, but she ended up not going. Yeah, that's pretty. I was excited to meet them, her, and I don't know why. What's Cassie's husband's name? His name is just escaping me. I it's just not. I don't. I watch them sometimes, and I'm familiar with them, but I have not met them. Um, but yeah, um, we don't necessarily interact too much. I am friends with them on Facebook and stuff, but outside of that. But yeah, I'm so glad you were there. That's amazing. And I think you're like, and I've said it a million times, like your testimonial at the end of KPL like really solidified to me just how paramount events like KPL can be for the overarching community. Because I'm sitting there in tears while you're talking and knowing that it's the right thing and right place to be. And knowing that, and it was kind of a bothersome situation because we were up in the air about whether or not KPL 2024 was going to be a thing. And so I'm sitting here like, oh, we got to. And I was, and maybe, I don't know. I was like, if she doesn't do it, I'll put one on, having no idea what that kind of undertaking would be. But thankfully, she's doing it, so I don't have to. But I will support and at nauseum promote Keto Palooza until those tickets are sold out. And even then, I'll keep talking about it because I mean, I'm excited. 1000%. Like, that's the thing is like I had playlists, I had like cues. I could put all, like, I would start my day at work, put like albums in a queue, and then listen to that queue all day. So I didn't have to create a playlist. I could just that way every day I could just pick and choose what albums I wanted to listen to because for me, I'm a whole album person. Like that's why things like Pandora drove me bonkers because you couldn't play like because I was a Pandora listener, but I wasn't a premium member, so I've got commercials, and that didn't bother me as much. But I couldn't listen to full albums. I could just listen to you could put in a name of a band and it would just play a song from them and like two songs, three songs from somebody else. It would just play like a radio station. And that was okay, but I need full albums. Like for me, like if I can't listen to the entire album, I'm not as big a fan of it. And so yeah, Google Play just had the interact. I wish Spotify had more controls and was set up closer to what Google Play was. Because I think the Google Play interface was so much better. Spotify is good, YouTube Music is good, and I utilize both of them, but pour one out for my homies. Larry, okay, yeah, that's his name. Evelyn grew up with Cassie and her family. She and I graduated from school together. We reconnected at our reunion. Oh, that's so cool. I never went to any of my reunions, but in high school, I was not a popular person. I would not be able to do what I'm doing now. I could barely talk to people. Um, I wasn't very my communication skills, let's say, were not that of a person who could do something like this when I was in high school. I had a lot of trouble just talking to people or talking up and like, when you had to get up in front of class, terrified doing that kind of stuff. Um, Never would have thought that I would be doing something like this where I'm talking in front of people 4+ days a week. Um, but uh yeah. My first was hard to kill Omaha and didn't know anyone. Yeah, it is rough. Like, you know, and for me, I'm walking into situations where I'm excited to meet people that I haven't met that I know or in my mind know because I either watch their content or interact with them on here in chats. And then there's going to be people that know me that haven't necessarily interacted with me that are excited to meet me that I don't know. So it's kind of a double thing. Like it is weird when people you don't know are excited to meet you, and you don't know you're going to meet them, but they know you and they're excited to meet you. That's weird. It is a very weird kind of thing. Like it's kind of hard to wrap your brain around. Like somebody out there wants to meet me that I have no idea exists, but they're excited because I'm going to be there. That's pretty heavy. And I know like this KPL, I got a chance to meet so many wonderful people, people that I wasn't anticipating meeting. Some people there for the very first time didn't know anybody, like Evelyn. Um, and then there was Clay. I met this gentleman named Clay, and he also did a testimonial and shouted me out on the testimonial, which I was crying about. But whatever. I'm a big old softy. But um, yeah, so it was just a very emotional experience for me. It was very surreal. And I'm excited for this year. And that's why, like I said, I'm going to promote this until tickets are gone. And then I'm still not going to shut up about it. So Shelly is here. Welcome, Shelly King. Thank you so much, dear, for being here. And Cindy's asking Arvin or Arlen if he's going to be at the Ohio meetup. So, like, that's far. So it's like 3-hour drive for me. And it was like, what, a 9-hour drive for him to get here? That's like 12 hours or whatever. That's a long drive. Brian said that last year people were coming up to our table asking where I was. Found that hard to believe for sure. Yeah, yeah, that's it is a very it's very surreal. Like, and for me, even like meeting like Joe and Rachel last year was a very like celebrity moment for me. I mean, they know who I was, but they hadn't met me. Same thing with Chris and Miriam. They knew who I was, but they hadn't met me. There's a lot of people like, or Lynette. I am looking forward. I need to try to. I need to nail down Lynette. I want to have Lynette on my Saturday. I would love to have Lynette on and talk with me on a Saturday morning and share her experience. And I need to get Joe and Rachel, but I want to do it separately. I want to have Joe on and I want to have Rachel on separately. Same thing with like Chris and Miriam, because I think oftentimes I don't know if they would do it. I don't even know if Joe and Rachel would do it separately. I would even be willing to do it the way that I did Heath and Shelly, where I did Shelly in the morning and then Heath at night. I had, that way I would be willing to do that. I'm even more open now. I'm going to have to be more open now to, it'll probably have to be more than just Saturday mornings if I'm going to fit people in because of, circumstances. But I mean, just that, you know, coffee. Mm. Let's see. I get that. I met 2KK and Keto Chow in 2022, as well as Dr. Barry, Autumn, Richard's celebrity experience for sure. Richard's a cool guy. Like, I got a chance to talk to Richard at the end of KPL as we were kind of heading out of the conference down the stairs. We rode the elevator together down to get to the parking garage and stuff. So we had about a 5 to 10 minute little conversation about everything, and he's really awesome. And I know that I know their dynamic is he doesn't get a microphone, but I think it would be awesome if he did get a little bit of a microphone, a little bit of time, because I think his personality shines through. he does compliment Autumn, and I know that they kind of have that dynamic. But you know, maybe I'll meet Dr. Barry this year. I don't know. We'll see. I've shaken his hand before, so I've met him, but not really got a chance to like tell him who I am or have him know who I am or anything like that. Because I don't expect anybody to know who I am. You know, I just don't. Because in the grand scheme of all of this, there's a lot of us. So there's not going to be any way for anybody, everybody to know who I am, but that's okay. Oh, I'm sure he would be a great motivational speaker. He'd be funny and charming and all that stuff. So here's the thing, Brian. The thing about KPL, if you're going to go to any of them, KPL is the one to go to because you can still step off to the side. There's like people talking to each other, and you may have people talking to you if you don't, if they don't know who you are and such. But really, with KPL, you kind of get to control your level of interaction. You can go up to people and talk to them if you want to or not. A lot of people just kind of sit off in the corner and just observe. So there's some, and it's not really a big, I mean, it's like 350 people, but they're all kind of like interacting with each other, and it's like kind of swirling a little bit, but it's not like just a big old crowd. It's not like a big concert where everyone just kind of I mean, during like the speeches and stuff, it's kind of a focused attention. But I think when it comes to like KPL, I think you can kind of dip your toe in and kind of go at your own pace. And then you can kind of just duck back if you're, and recharge your social battery if you need to. Like I did that last year, like on Friday, like I had got in town really early. So I had started early and I got there as double fisting coffees and I was ready to party. And yeah, then like about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I went upstairs to my room, closed my eyes for about an hour, went back downstairs, and was ready to go again. Sometimes you just I mean, and that's the thing about KPL is you get to choose your level of interaction. Sometimes you just kind of go off and sit by yourself for a little bit, have a breather, go get a cup of coffee, go sit out in the atrium. There's like right there where the conference is. There's like two rooms where the conference is. There's like the room where like the vendors will be, or like we'll do like the initial meetups and stuff. Then there's like the room where the conferences actually take place, where the speakers are. And then there's like a little like registration area just outside of that. And then there's like a little walkway, like an atrium that connects East and West Towers, and it goes over 4th Street. And you can just kind of go and pick a seat. There's like a cafe there. You can get a cup of coffee. At night, they have a full bar. Um, but you can just sit and look outside at 4th Street, watch like the people unloading in their bags and all that stuff, and just kind of relax and look at the city of Louisville. So I mean, you really get to choose. It's like a make your own adventure conference. You get the level of interaction you're comfortable with. But if you're there, I expect a high five, a hug, or a fist bump or something. That's kind of like, if you come up to me, I like hugs. I like hugs. So if you come up to me and want a hug, I will hug you. Or we can high five a few times too. We can high five all day. Let's high five. Hashtag let's high five. Hashtag more Mike. Arnold says, too much to do in March, but planning on sometime this year. I wanted to catch Dr. Barry to autograph my book. That's the thing, is like he is like, even like then if he's like kind of standing by himself, it's like, dude, I don't want to bother him. Everyone's been bothering him all day. And I know it's kind of a conference and it's kind of like one of those things like back to, the Brian thing, like, I guess if you're kind of out where people can see you and you're kind of standing, but still, I'm just not the kind of person to bug people. And, I mean, if I meet him, get a chance to talk to him this time, cool. If not, he's not the reason why I'm going. You are. Yes, you. Well, I don't go to the movies anymore just because there's no good movies. And the movie theater we go to, we like because I mean, a busy theater is like 10 people. So, I mean, I'm excited for Ghostbusters. I'm excited for there's some Disney movies coming out this year that I'm excited for. Hopefully, they're good. I mean, they're all sequels, unfortunately. Wish they would do more original stuff and put actual effort into the original stuff instead of kind of like just kind of putting in minimal effort and then wondering why they don't do well. But I miss going to the movies, and I don't even mind that. Like, I mean, going out and leaving the house is a harder thing now than it ever used to be for me. Staying inside was always the hard thing. Like, not going places was always the hard thing for me. Now, getting up and leaving the house is kind of a task. Like, I'm always like, well, maybe they'll cancel. I have plans tomorrow to go do X, Y, Z. Maybe they'll cancel. I get to stay home. That is not me. It's so weird. It never was me. Kind of is the new me, the new motto. Anyway, I'd already missed so much just having lunch at that restaurant we ate at. Yeah. It's weird. I'm in sales and go into 8 to 12 strange homes every week with no issues, but no way I do crowds. Yeah. I mean, the thing about that though, like, I mean, if it really does bother you, then maybe they'll do I mean, maybe they'll do like a thing where you can watch the things live or whatever. And I will make content. That's the hard part because I want to make content, but I also want to experience the conference. But I want to showcase what it can be so other people get a chance to see what it is. And I know we're going to get to a point where like as soon as they go on sale, they sell out. But you know, they sell like 350 tickets in a week instead of like 3 months or whatever. I mean, I know we're selling faster than we did last year, but you know, hashtag more Mike. And I loved his shirt last year. The back of his KPL shirt said hashtag more Mike. It was perfect. It's awesome. Mine said keto simple, just in case anybody was curious about that. But yeah, just the experience is nice. I mean, and there's plenty of things you can just kind of step away. I mean, on Saturday, like I couldn't find Ready Set Keto or Jackie or anybody, and I guess Ready Set Keto went to like an outlet mall or something. They went to a shopping mall because James came back with new shoes. I looked at him like, "You're wearing different shoes," and he's like, "Yeah, I went to the mall." I'm like, "What? What?" But I got a chance to go out to lunch that Saturday, and it was so fun. Hang out with people and become close friends with people and really get to connect with people. That's what I like about KPO. It is a conference, but you get a chance to really connect with people. Meaningful, wholesome connections, like people who come and listen to me talk on Sundays, Saturdays, and Tuesdays, and sometimes Wednesdays. What do you guys think about the Wednesday live that I do? Well, I'm going to continue to do it because I've done it 3 weeks in a row, and I have got more subscribers out of those lives than most of my videos. So, like the first time I went live was like on a whim. I found out that it was a feature and went live while I was doing the dishes, and it had like 600 people watching me or something crazy like that, and got 15 subscribers. The next week I got 9 subscribers, and then last week I got 9 subscribers. And when you normally get in like 150 subscribers every month, 9 in a week or 9 from one little interaction is huge. But I'm curious to what you guys think because I could do these in a vertical format. I won't do Sunday in a vertical format because I think this to me is an interaction with people who want to be here, not for people who are trying to find me. Maybe more people, new people. I definitely want new people to come in and interact, but that's not the focus of what Sunday is. Sunday for me is to sit back, have my coffee, have some kind of a topic to talk about so we're not kind of wasting our time. but also interacting with each other. You guys are talking to each other in the chat. I'm drinking my coffee. We're having a good time. But so that's what I like about Sunday. Sunday's laid back, relaxed. People enjoy it. They want to listen to what we have to say, interact. Yeah. So, let's see what you guys are saying here. How about more Richard? I think that might cause some problems because Autumn likes to be the spotlight. And I don't think if we were like hashtag more Richard, I think she would be like, nope, I'm not pushing that boundary. Good luck with that one. Let's see. Have a manager special bone in, 1.5-pound ribeye, and a sous vide. Gonna sear it in my 1500-degree infrared grill later for lunch. What? 1500 degrees? I think with that, Chandra might actually be warm. Yes. They have a whole chat hooked to the page asking everyone what they'll put on their shirts. I must have missed that. I'll have to go back and look at that. Maybe tag me in that, Evelyn, so I can see it. Because I haven't seen that. You're not wrong. It sounds amazing. Autumn holds the mic. There will be meetup in June hosted by Susie and Andy Dwyer. Do we know where that's going to be? I haven't looked up. I haven't looked at anything. So, yeah. Hershey says, I enjoy these Sunday mornings lives a lot. I do feel like a way to interact with the community. Now I'm heading out to sprint. Be back in a bit. Good luck with that. Enjoy your run. Be safe. Run, Christy, run. Before I came on here, I was looking at YouTube, and there was a skit from last night's Saturday Night Live on there, and it was like the 20-year high school reunion of Forrest Gump, and it was like, but it focused more on when this guy came in and had like a mullet. It's like set in 1985, and it was interesting because he was like basically like peaked in high school, and he was like, "Yeah, I run a nightclub and all this stuff," and then Forrest Gump comes in. He's like, "What's he been up to? Nothing." He had no idea who Forrest Gump had become and all that stuff. Obviously, familiar with the movie, it's a lot funnier, right? And but yeah, um, yeah. So it was just funny to me. I like comedy. I like to laugh. I love these interactions. I love talking, and I love doing it like this where got my thing here. I'm gonna find it. It's here somewhere, maybe. Um Brian's gotta run to get some more wood, cedar planter season. Ugh. Good luck with that. I'm not a gardening person. I would probably not survive the apocalypse. Eaton, Ohio, June 29th. Follow Safe Harbor Live on Facebook and Instagram for more info. They're not going to put it on low carb events. Are they know about low carb events.com? .com. I will try. I will look for it. I will do it. Do it. We've been watching new show that popped up on Netflix. We've been watching Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk. Oh, he's a comedic genius to me. I love Alan Tudyk. You may know him as the voice of the chicken in Moana. Hey, hey. Um, he does a lot of voices. If you ever watched Wreck-It Ralph, he was the voice of King Candy. He does a lot more voices than he does actual like in person like roles. But yeah, it's a good show. Pretty funny. Eaton is slightly closer to me than yesterday's meetup outside of Dayton. Interesting. Maybe I was gonna say like maybe we carpool or something to some of these. We'll see. Um, that might be worth because I know I'm driving all the way to Columbus. I know that Jen isn't going with me because we're in Columbus where we're having it. They don't have that stairs and they don't have any way for her to get up the stairs. They don't have an elevator or anything. And I don't know if Jackie's gonna go or not. Um, so maybe we can get together, Darth or Charlie, and maybe we'll plan to go together. Maybe split the gas money in half or whatever. So if you're planning to go to Columbus, that is Alan Tudyk. I'm a leaf in the wind. It's called Resident Alien. It's on Netflix. It's a sci-fi show. Season 3 is going on sci-fi right now. They got the first 2 seasons on Netflix. We're on season 2. There's planning, I'm guessing, for season 4, but season 3 isn't done yet. So I guess we'll wait and find out. But I really think it's funny. 4 eggs, 4 pieces apple smoked, thick cut bacon, 2 slices egg white bread, and coffee. I am thoroughly satiated. That sounds delicious. Yeah, Charlie. So yeah, I have to pass by your house on 70 to get to Dayton or Columbus. Cool. We'll have to connect. I'll make sure I'll get you my number. Um, hit me up on Instagram if you have the gram. I know some people are weird about social media or whatever, but we'll figure a way on how to get your phone number or whatever. Or you can just email me at ketosimple@hotmail.com. Um, and I can text you or whatever we need to do. Or Facebook Messenger. I like Facebook Messenger. Um, add me on Facebook if you do that. Like I said, then again, I don't know who does Facebook, who doesn't, but yeah. Um, yeah, he was on Firefly. Um, I never finished. So that's the hard part. When I go into a show knowing that it's only one season and it's supposed to be so good that you want more, it was so difficult for me to not watch it. But I watched like maybe 2, 3 episodes, but like it was so hard because I'm like, I'm gonna want more, and I would just go ahead and never finish it. That's kind of like how I was with like the ending of Sopranos. I didn't watch like the last 6 episodes because they like that final season, they'd split it in half. Did like 5 and 6 or 6 and 5 or whatever it was. I never finished watching it. Um, it was a good show, but um, well, the lady on there, she ended up being in like Homeland and V and Deadpool and all that stuff. So that was really awesome. And then like the lady from the other lady from that show ended up being on Suits. Yeah, so lots of butter on the bread. So we'll all ride together. I've got a SUV. She likes to sit in the back anyway. She can just sit in the back and she naps all the way places. She's not a very good conversationalist. That'd be nice. It's like splitting the gas like 3 ways, like to and from Columbus, like 6 hours. That's not bad. Then that'll make Chandra happy too. I'm excited for March. I'm excited. Hopefully, I don't know what's going on with our indie meetup. So here's kind of what's going on with the indie meetup. We have a date, May 18th. That's solidified as far as a date. We have we have the place. If you've been to our meetup before, that's if everything goes normal, that's when it's going to be. But we've been looking at the fact that Joe and Rachel are going to be in Indiana sometime in April to pick up their new RV. They're going to be up in Elkhart, which is like 2.5 hours, 3 hours north of me, right? But if they're going to be in Indiana, central Indiana for them isn't that hard. That's a 3 hour drive. they could spend the day at a meetup and we could move the meetup from May to April. We just don't know what kind of date. Just want to let people kind of know what that's going on. Like that's something we're trying to maybe plan around. I just don't know what's going on with it yet. I was at Costco one day and Jen Lucas calls me and goes and tells me everything. And I go, okay, well, let's see what we can do. Let's see if if there's availability for the venue that we use for our meetups, which is in Amo, Indiana. It's nice because it's roomy. It holds everybody. It'll hold 100+ people pretty comfortably, and it's like $100. If we lived in Amo, it'd be $25. But none of us live in Amo. Like Jackie lives like a block outside of it, so it's $100. She doesn't have an Amo address, but yeah, $100 though. I mean, it's like $15 for everybody. We provide a lot of food. We do a pitch in, and then it's like to cover the cost of the venue and the cleanup and all that stuff. So you know, 11-hour trip to Eaton, maybe. Woo! That's a long drive. That's how long it is for us to go to Alabama, where the ocean is, not to get further into the Midwest where Dayton is. Like 11 hours to stay in the Midwest. But I'm just joking. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Heath is in the house. Sorry you're late. You're not sorry. Do you even have a clock? Listen to 2KK. They are supposed to pick up their RV April 4th, but it could change if they don't have it done. So their date is not. Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's the hard part of planning some kind of thing like that around that is making sure we can get the date around it. Maybe we'll end up doing some kind of like Walmart parking lot thing or something. I don't know. But I mean, considering that Indiana is not that far, or they'll be in Indiana around that time. But like I said, we're trying to do something like that, but I just don't know if it'll work. I haven't even talked to Jen Lucas about it anymore, or Jackie, really, for that matter, since like 2 weeks ago. But just kind of keep an eye out, or kind of keep an understanding that maybe there might be something going on with 2KK in April. Just to put that out there, it's a possibility. Not set in stone. I mean, it's a slight possibility, but I don't know. Hopefully, it'd be cool. All my Saturdays are available. I just need to know enough in advance to have hubby take off work. Yeah, so like I said, I just don't know really about that. Like, hopefully it works out. That would be nice. But I mean, that would be kind of cool because I think them being involved would open up the Midwestern type thing, and we may get more people involved that may not have been inclined to come. I know we get a good turnout at our meetups we did two last year. We had a pretty good turnout each time, like 50 people. Like I said, we have room for about 100 probably. Um, but I think if they were involved, then that would probably go up a significant amount. It might get closer to being a full house. And that's always nice to kind of bring awareness to what we have going on, you know, as they're a prominent, figurehead of the community. So, you know, he says he has many clocks, was cleaning up from last night's channel member Cook and long and edited this week MS Journey video. I got to film some content today. I've been very slacking with that. I've been utilizing these lives as a crutch. But if I want the channel to grow, I have to put out more content. I have shorts and things that I want to make. I have a handful of shorts that I really want to put out. I think they would do very well. Um, but and I have, stuff I have a video planned about this stuff and kind of what it is, what you can expect from it, along with other types of electrolytes, like what's going to work best for you type thing. So, I paid for and missed October Indiana meetup. Oh, we should have given you your money back. Yes. So I was planning to work where he is working, but they don't need me right now. They're very slow. So I was probably going to go look at Costco. I would like to have like a very flexible work from home type job where I don't have to leave the house. I mean, I know I should probably go work in like working at a place like Costco would probably be better for me, like moving and getting around and getting exercise, but leaving the house, I'd like to have like a work from home thing that's like, maybe 20, 30 hours a week where I could pick my hours and work when I want to. But yeah, I don't really know what I could do, I mean, I'm qualified to do just about anything, but I just don't know really what all that stuff's going on and what there is out there. But um Jen was talking about doing something like a work from home thing, but that ended up being like an MLM type triangle company, if you will. If you know what I mean, triangle company, like a pyramid, maybe. Bring your own grills and have it at a park with Joe and Rachel. That's the thing is like, well, I mean, like even like a lot of parks, there's like where they have the things where you can grill. They have systems where you have to like plan in advance and like pay for the space. Like we have a park where we've done birthday parties and such, and we've been lucky in the past to be able to just kind of show up and have one. But this last year we did it, we were like way away from like the park area and all that stuff. So like we had to have like the birthday party stuff and then move everybody over to like the splash pad and stuff, and it wasn't right there. So yeah, you can book that stuff in advance and have it. But I mean, that's like a thing, like I don't know how much it is to book that stuff. I think it's like $100. I mean, it's not a big, it's not the cost, it's a matter of like the planning. And knowing when they're going to be in town. So when you're like, well, if it's in 10 minutes, get here if you can. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking at. So, and the thing about Costco would be, I know they could pay me like 17, $18 an hour, which is not the greatest, but I mean, it's better than like McDonald's or whatever. And I know it's a solid company, and I'm there once or twice a week, even though I'm not there. I do have to probably go today and put gas in the truck, but I might go tomorrow because I have to take the kid. I have to take the girl to school. Then I'll have like 3 hours to kill, so I probably will go tomorrow and put gas in the car before picking her up from school. So because I have enough gas for that, but you know how it goes. I'll tell you one thing that I do like about this whole Saturday morning coffee thing is my coffee lasts longer. If I'm just sitting down watching YouTube, I'll finish this in like 20 minutes. Now we've been talking for like an hour and 40 minutes and I still have coffee in here. But sometimes before this starts, like yesterday, I sat down because the live didn't start till 8 o'clock and I was up at 6. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have a coffee. And then I had to make another coffee before the live, and then I was like, you know what I'm saying? It's the more I make, and I'm responsible for many children. I don't need to be responsible for children. I have one child I'm responsible for, and myself, which I'm still a child. No matter how old I get, I'm going to be a kid. And yeah. So, and we'll probably touch on this again. But so yesterday, I get Shander up. Well, she gets up, and we get up together. We get up. She starts getting ready for work. I start putting her coffee together and her lunch and everything. Get her out the door, and she can't find her jacket. She has like this fleece jacket she likes, and it's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, she puts it on the chair at the bar or our island area. We've got two chairs at the bar, and her purse goes there, and her jacket goes there, and our keys go in the basket right there, and everything's in a specific, like the other chair is where my hoodies go. Like usually one or two hoodies go there, and she can't find it. I'm like, well, I didn't move it. She goes, well, I didn't move it. And I was like, well, maybe it fell on the floor and I picked it up without really remembering or thinking about it and put it in the wash. So I went and I was like, I got everything. I switched out the laundry, wasn't in the dryer, wasn't any of the baskets that I had cleaned. And I'm like, I don't know where it is. I'm like going to the truck. She had the car. She looked in the car. I'm looking in the truck and looking through like other laundry we have in our room because, I mean, who does laundry? I hate laundry. So laundry piles up. I've got like 6 months worth of laundry. Anyway, don't judge me. Man, I can't find it anywhere. Like this fleece jacket, I found a fleece jacket. And I was like, it wasn't the right one. It was like one I had that I would wear to work when I couldn't wear hoodies, but I could wear like a black jacket. Because in offices I'm always frozen. But um, couldn't find it. So I was like, well, maybe one of the kids. So I text one of our kids, he's like got these monkey arms and they won't fit. He's got these super long arms and that's just not going to work. It'd be like a quarter sleeve or 3/4 sleeve. So we text the other boy and he's like, nope, I haven't bought, taken anything. And I was like, I just don't know where it is. I'm like racking my brains. Like I started looking at stuff that the kid plays with. Like she has this, we got a vacuum, a carpet cleaning vacuum. And she took the box and cut holes in it, cut a door in it, or we did it for her, because she shouldn't be playing with sharp knives yet, not till she's 6. But we made her like a little house, and she's small enough to fit inside. And sometimes she'll put stuffed animals in there. I was like, well, maybe she picked up the jacket and put the jacket in there. And I picked it up, and shook it. It was empty. And I'm looking all over the house, and I'm like, Shannon was mad at me yesterday because the coat went missing. She's like blaming me for it, like, where's my jacket? You had to do something with it. And I'm like, I have no idea. Anyway, so she gets home and I'm like, I don't know where your jacket is, babe. I have no idea. None. I'm like I turned the house upside down. I'm like lifting couches. I'm like, how would a jacket get under the couch? I'm like moving curtains back. And I'm like, I don't know where anything is. Like, because this kid can put stuff places. Cats maybe drug it somewhere. I don't know. Finally, Shandra goes, She calls our daughter and goes, oh yeah, I took that the other day. I was gonna be working in because she's a cast tech at an ortho place, and she just got like promoted to a cast tech or whatever, and so she does casting, like for like arms and legs and stuff, and she's like, yeah, I was gonna be in one of the cold offices, so I took your jacket, and then I left it there. Children, am I right? Like kids today, like it's like, like when like when you'd ask the kids, like, can you do the dishes? Oh, like what if we didn't pay your cell phone bill? What if your cell phone just got shut off? Because we paying the bill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Now I mean the kids are all moved out, so now I just pick on the cats. Like I come out of our room in the morning and like 2 of the cats are sitting by our door. And I'm like, come on, dum dums, or come on, you bag of dorks, or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not mean to them. But I step on them all the time because they're underfoot. Like, I think they like getting stepped on. I don't know what's going on with them because I'll be at the refrigerator and they're right there, and I turn around and I hear, wow, why are you underfoot? Cindy says, good luck with a job. Dustin, Brian went for an interview this week. I already got an email yesterday that he did not get. Oh, that sucks. Should have used me as a reference. I'd have been make sure he got that job. You understand me? See, he's going to work for you. He's going to work for you. See, I'm convincing. Heath, if you're looking for work for a home job, check out Rat Race Rebellion. There are a lot of I'll take a look at it and see. Because I would so much rather work from home. I mean, I know Costco would have its benefits because I like Costco, but like the idea of having to be at Costco all the time, that's a lot of peopling because they do get very, 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 very busy. So I know. I guess it just depends if I can find something that's flexible where I can work when I want to work. That's the flexibility and working from home and not working for like, some weird company. So I'll take a look at Rat Race and see what I can find. That's terrible. Maybe he can work at Buc-ee's. Maybe he can be one of the brisket makers. Make the brisket. And then he could be the man of the house who brings home the biscuit. The biscuit. The brisket. Freudian slip there. Oh, yeah, that's the thing is like I have to make sure that I mean, I have all my own equipment, but I don't want to put wear and tear on my stuff for their stuff. But I mean, I guess it depends. Like I'd be like maybe thinking about me. I've thought about trying to do like freelance video editing and stuff like that. I figure I'm a decent enough video editor. I mean, I make all my own intros and outros and all that stuff, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe like putting work up on Fiverr and stuff like that and see about doing that kind of stuff. Um, Maybe making thumbnails for people, like charge $5 a thumbnail, $10 a thumbnail. I don't know. I maybe that would give me some practice at doing thumbnail work too. So I've started going back and I'll go back and make new thumbnails for old videos. So like yesterday I spent like an hour going back over I went back and I looked at old videos that had very few views. Like I have like a garlic confit video that had like 50 views. And if you're not sure what garlic confit is, it's you take oil and you take a whole bunch of garlic into a pan or like a baking dish and you fill it and you cover it with olive oil. And then I put onion in there too. So there was some like pearl onions and garlic. And you put it into like a slow oven or like a low temperature oven for like 200 degrees for like 3 hours. And then you pull it out, and then and then what I did was I just took it and I used an immersion blender and made it into like a paste. Or you could just take the cloves and just take the clove and spread it on something. Like take like a chaffle and just spread that across a chaffle. And then you're just like in heaven. 50 views. Come on. So I went and made a new video. I made a new thumbnail for that. I went back out of salmon, like how I make salmon, like a salmon recipe video that I made. It's got like less than 100 views, and I just made a new my thumbnail was bad because the photos that I had were bad. So I just went and got stock photo of some salmon and made a new thumbnail with that. Um, you know, let's see. Uh Just looking for something. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't trying to work at Bucky's, was he? Yeah, no biscuits. Yeah, DoorDash is just I would sit there like an hour between gigs because they would send me offers and I would decline them because they would want to pay me $2 to do a run that was like 5-6 miles. And that's not really worth the gas. Like I can make more money sitting at home. I make more money off of YouTube than that. Maybe not really, but you know what I mean. But I mean, because like because DoorDash is so expensive, like they include a delivery fee with their stuff that doesn't go to the drivers. So if you're ordering on DoorDash, you're paying the DoorDash fee, the delivery fee, and the fee for the food, which is typically more expensive, even still, than just going and picking it up yourself. And then on top of that, they're asking you to tip the driver because they're only paying us like typically 2 to 250 a run. Unless it's been sitting there a while, then they'll start upping it by like 50 cents at a time. So like, and then they want to do like a percent, like you have an acceptance rate. And if you don't, and like the lower your acceptance rate, the less you're supposed to get bigger orders, like better paying orders. So it just defeats like it's too much wear and tear on the car, and there's just too much negative kind of people just don't want to tip. And I get that they're paying so much money, but like, and people are like, I shouldn't have to tip up front. I should get good service before I tip. But it's like the service they're talking about has nothing to do with the driver. The driver goes, picks it up, and takes it to you. And if you're doing that within the allotted window, then there should be no issue. There's no poor service with a delivery driver. I look at it, it says, leave on doorstep, don't ring doorbell, don't knock. Okay. But then they're always like, well, I shouldn't have to tip up front, but they're not going to tip on the back end either. And nobody's going to pick up their order because if there's not like $2 to $3 a mile, people don't want to pick it up. It's not worth the gas money. It's not worth the time. $2 a mile should be the minimum. And I'm not trying to get on a soapbox about this, but like when you're driving and spending your time doing a job, because if you're going 2 miles, like say $2 for 2 miles, I might take it. But still, then that's 2 miles there. I have to go like to the place and then to the house. Then I have to get back into where I can get new orders. So if it takes you like 10 miles, takes me out of my delivery zone where I get new orders. So I got to drive 10 miles out. And I got to drive that 10 miles back. And if they're only giving me $2, that's $2 for 20 miles. And then I'm not getting new orders for that 20 miles to get back to where I can get new orders. So it just doesn't make financial sense. That's why I don't do it anymore. I made like last year I made like $1,100 off of DoorDash and like but that was still like maybe like a month and a half, 2 months. That's not a lot. I was only doing it when I wanted to, like 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, like 3 or 4 days a week. So it was totally flexible and I enjoyed doing that. But when if I'm sitting there for 2 hours and I'm getting all just declining offers that don't make sense, then there's no reason for me to take it. And I've thought about trying again, but they have dash by time, but then you have to take all these orders. You have to take every order, and there's just all these orders that don't make sense. So they're basically then using you to take all the orders that nobody else wanted to take, and then even though they're paying you $12 an hour with no guarantee of a tip, you're still driving so much. So yeah. My daughter has high anxiety issues and works at Kroger. She really is doing an amazing job and has learned to work through her anxiety. Yeah, I don't really have so much anxiety like anymore. I worked in office jobs for like the last 15 years. Before doing this and being at home and taking care of the girl, I worked in office jobs. I did customer service. I am, able to handle that. So that's like, I'm not afraid of customer service or anything like that. And typically I was just kind of curious, like in a customer service situation, are they going to yell at me in person? I get yelled at on the phone all the time. And I was just kind of giggled at the fact that if they could look me in the face, would they yell at me? Probably some would, but the chances are like a lot less, you know. So maybe 29.99 a month for IT retainer to Facebook pages, returning editing. I'm not sure I understand what that is. Maybe reach out to me, Brendan. Explain that to me. I'm not sure what that means. No, not Bucky's yet. Anyway, I mean it's down the street from your house, and they're probably hiring, and I think they pay very well, don't they? And he likes people. Well, that's the thing. Is like you can stack orders. Like sometimes you'll get an order, and then while you're like, say, like they'll like pick up an order for Taco Bell, and while you're in Taco Bell, it'll pop another one for you to take while you're at the same Taco Bell. So you can just take two, but then you've got to go to the two different places. But I mean, it was fine at first, but then they made it to where it was like impossible to make any actual kind of money because they're taking all the profit. You're just a contractor, so they don't owe you anything, and they're paying you the bare minimum. And then like they put these weird arbitrary like percentages in place. Like if you're taking above 70% or whatever orders, then you're going to get better orders. But in order to get that, you're taking a bunch of crap orders. Or they want you to go and shop. Like they would give me these things where you got to go to like Dollar General, and it's like it'd be like $20, but it's going to take you an hour and a half to go because you got to go shop because they send you a little red card to shop with. You got to use the card. Then you got to do this and do that and do all this weird stuff. And I would just rather not even mess with that at all because I did one of those. It was $10. It was like a $10 order. So I was like, that's cool. I go to like a CVS, pick up some kind of night cream stuff. Then I had to drive like across town to drop this order off to this lady. I got to drive all the way back across town before I can get another order. Now they'll try to do dash along the way, but that is kind of a problematic situation as well because if you dash along the way, then you're picking up some near where you are, and that could take you further out. And then you're just gonna kind of end up all over the city. And that's just not what I like to be in a familiar area because that way then I can be more efficient. Because if I'm in like my area, I can be efficient. I know where I'm going. I get to know the people, they know me. It just makes a symbiotic relationship. And I know where to avoid. Like I know in my area, you don't pick up orders from Wendy's. it's weird. There's like TikTok videos about the Wendy's in my town because they're awful. They were out of like soup bowls. They're out of soda, meat, out of burgers at Wendy's. They were out of Coke products, like all of them. They were like only had like lemonade. But yeah, we were delivering for Favor for a little while, and it seems like the orders there were third and fourth floor apartments. That doesn't bother me, but like I just don't want to take a $2 order and no tip, and I'm going 10 miles. And that sounds entitled, but that's like not even that doesn't even cover gas. It was amazing to me how many people would order McDonald's delivery. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, like I delivered McDonald's to an older lady. That makes sense. You don't want to go out. That makes sense. If you have the disposable income, makes sense. But like, or like if you want Taco Bell late at night and you're no way that you shouldn't be driving, you know what I mean? Because if you're in a certain kind of way, you want Taco Bell. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, guys, because we've got autumn coming up soon. And I don't want to overlap Autumn and Richard. And I want to say thank you so very much, all of you. I love each and every one of you. Brenda, reach out to me. Let me know what you're talking about, the $29.9 a month. I might start picking up some Fiverr work and see about maybe doing some video editing and stuff like that to try my hand at it, see if I can even get better at video editing and what they're looking for. Thumbnail work and see if I can do anything like that. Yeah. Thank you all so very much. I want to thank again all of my channel members. All of you are amazing. I love each and every one of you. You make my Sundays great. Evelyn, I love you. John Gugahan, it was nice to see you too. The whole live. Brenda says she's glad she made it. Bye, everybody. Head over to Autumn. Check Autumn out. Autumn Richard, Sunday Live. You know you want to. Tell them I sent you, or don't. It's fine. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Tuesday with Chandra.